Who talks about the WNBA? Who talks about women? Who talk about women's sports more than First Take?
Stephen A., respectfully, with your platform, you could have been doing this 3 years ago if you wanted to.
Wow.
Hey y'all, this is Tamika, the face behind Heyyy HR, and I saw something that really made me stop, pay attention, and it was definitely Monica McNutt. I mean, first of all, she's a fabulous female, and second of all, the way she made Stephen A. stop talking, like he had no response except, wow. We all know Stephen A. always has a response. That man is always pretty quick on his toes, but she stumped him on this time. And so I wanna show y'all a video clip that really made me pause and I paid attention to it.
Maximizing their great potential. And because we bring that up and talk about what potentially might get in their way, which we do to men all the time, now we got to sit up here and watch every syllable. I resent that, and I'll leave it at that.
All right, so let me. I know we got to go to break. Welcome to the world of being a woman, Stephen A., and how you have to dance about your word choice and you have to please everybody and anybody as you navigate your being. We are talking about the world's greatest
How about being a black man?
Being black. Hold on 1 second.
Have you?
So this is what I'm saying to y'all, though, and I know we got to go to break, and we didn't necessarily go there, and maybe we should. There are so many layers in this conversation around the way that it's being discussed. No. And yes, Shannon, I know y'all are going to say you know, and Stephen A., I know you just shared that you have talked about the WNBA on your program too. You guys may not have said everybody, but the prevailing sentiment for folks that are just joining the WNBA and following women's sports is unfair to the women of this league, to your point, who have laid the groundwork for Caitlin Clark to come in and now take it to the next level. That's all I'm saying in these conversations. Kennedy Carter's behavior is not indicative of the entire league. We are still talking about competition where you are allowed to get a little extra elbow in if you are competing and you do it within the parameters of the game. The game is physical. Caitlin is helping to grow the league. These women understand that, but she cannot be babied as a rookie. That's all I'm at.
All right. Who talks about the WNBA? Who talks about women? Who talk about women's sports more than First Take?
Stephen A., respectfully, with your platform, you could have been doing this 3 years ago if you wanted to.
Wow.
All right, we got to go. You guys.
So did you know
you're my guy, but
who does more than
Stephen A., I'm talking to you. Wow. Don't do that. I'm talking to you about the power that you have.
Okay.
Now, honestly, that made me say wow, because she really hit on some things with that. She was telling the truth. Like, WNBA has really not been a big topic, and all of a sudden it is, right? But I will say that little clip made me want to learn a little bit more about Monica McNutt. I was like, you know what? I like her. She's eloquent. She knows basketball and sports, which is something that many females, we kind of struggle with. And so I was very excited to learn more about her. And y'all know how the algorithm is. The algorithm will algorithm on you. And so as I watched that clip, I went and watched her interview with Charlamagne the God and his whole team on The Breakfast Club. And that was very interesting. So we're gonna cover about 6 different points where it really made me realize, like, listen guys, if y'all pay attention to this is more empowering than just basketball. It's more empowering than just your career. It really can help you in several different places. So first, let's talk about who Monica McNutt is. She's an American sports analyst. She's a reporter that's New York based. She has played guard for the Georgetown Hoyas, and obviously she's a host on First Take on ESPN with Stephen A. as well, right? I definitely enjoyed that as she was talking about this, the first thing that came to my mind is when she first said, you have to advocate for yourself.
Advocating for myself has been something that I have never struggled with, courtesy of my parents. And so all along the way, I'm meeting these people and letting them know what I wanted to do. I actually ended up being at a Washington Post event and sitting in front of the director of the Philip Merrill College of Journalism, or sports, program for sports journalism at University of Maryland. Again, advocating for myself. He's like, come check out our journalism program. At the time, I didn't know who he was. Turned out to be George Solomon. That gets the wheel rolling in me in terms of opportunities to learn the craft of journalism, study it, be able to go and perform in various mediums, and then take my basketball passion and basketball knowledge and merge the two. So
you have to advocate for yourself. And for me, it made me think about advocating for myself versus networking, because all of her points beyond that talk more about it. Now, y'all know I'm a big fan. If you've been around here for a while, you've been watching Heyyy HR for a while, you know that I'm a big fan of saying, forget the certifications, forget the degrees, get a good resume and use your network, or create a network that you'll use. Listen, this really stood out to me because at first I was like, you know what? Now I'm advocating for myself. I can advocate for myself with my network. I can advocate for myself outside of my network. I can advocate for myself by myself in multiple ways, right? Make my name become a name that's said in rooms where I am not. So she hit on a point about building the scar tissue and becoming the nature of the beast.
It was this, that's just the nature of the beast moment. Because I'm like, I didn't say that when people are like tweeting stuff at me. Like, I didn't say that, or that's completely out of context. And so I think you learn and you build the scar tissue, the tough skin to deal with it, because it's just the nature of the beast.
For me, I immediately thought about job searches. So many times we get all these rejections. We apply, we get rejection after rejection over and over again. Well, that's helping us build that scar tissue, right? Instead of us whining and complaining,
oh my God, they just keep rejecting me.
Oh my God, I'm so tired of applying.
Oh, I hate the ATS. I already put in my resume and I still have to type everything in.
So now you build a scar tissue with the job search until you find this amazing job. And now the way that you're going to become a nature of the beast is you're going to learn on the job. So many people worry that I don't know this, I don't know that, they don't want to train anybody. I can't tell you a majority of my career, nobody sat and trained me. And by the time I did get training, I would be at a job legit for a whole year, 2 years before somebody like actually sat down and trained me, which means I had a year of 2 years that I had to do some type of work. And so I feel like doing that job search, you're building that scar tissue, but it's only helping you become a nature of the beast, because instead of waiting on somebody to train you, you train yourself. There's so many different things now. Back in the day when I started my career, it wasn't all these on-demand courses. LinkedIn wasn't offering all these courses. Google wasn't offering all these courses. Course careers didn't even exist. HRCP, I don't think they exist. I don't know, because they've been around for a significant amount of time. But I tell you, when you go through the grind, you go through the hustle, you go through the hard work, it makes it so much easier just to tackle it, in my opinion. That's just me. But Monica McNutt really dropped some gems on that one. Now, the next one where she really got me was she was talking about folks won't always agree.
You got to be able, I don't want to say hold space, but you got to be able to navigate both. And for me, I'm like, look, we don't have to agree. That's the nature of the beast. That's the nature of human experience. But don't be nasty for no reason.
People are just not always going to agree with you. We get so caught up. As soon as somebody don't agree, we run to the defense. Like, as soon as somebody says something, well, I told her, child, I don't be worried about telling nobody nothing no more. I don't be worried about telling them nothing. First of all, what I try to do is just remember that it's okay that we disagree. We're all different people. We all want diversity, but the minute somebody disagrees with us, we're ready to argue about it. There's nothing to argue about. They think differently than us. That's diversity, that's inequity, that's definitely being inclusive. So if you want diversity, equity, and inclusion, you got it when people disagree, when people get to the answer differently, when they problem solve differently, when they make a success out of something and you didn't think about doing it that way. What I try to make sure that I do is that I already know my side, right? So that defense that I want to give them, I already know. My biggest goal is to learn what they know, to understand what they did, to understand the concept. Even if I don't understand every single step, I understood the concept of what they did. So folks won't always agree, and that's not a bad thing, y'all. Just keep moving. Like Monica McNutt been dropping gems, child. The next one that she dropped a gem on that there were so many, so I'm surprised I only have 6. But she said, giving things rational space in your head.
What you gotta do? Like, do not give this any real rational space in your head. Don't even do it.
That word rational mean a lot. So many times I have mentees, I have friends, I have colleagues who sit and like keep talking about the same thing over and over again.
Oh, I hate that she does it.
Oh, she doing it again. Oh,
child, I'm not living in that space. You can give it rational space in your head, because now you got your mind clogged with all this negativity. When you can think about it, absorb it for a minute, reject it, whatever you need to do, and then put your mind in a space of rectifying the situation, whatever that situation is. Stop overthinking and creating narratives that have no evidence. I have so many situations that pop into my head that I cannot tell you guys because they're so personal, but I have so many situations where something will happen and then somebody goes, oh, I can tell you what happened. How do you know? You weren't there. So why are we providing evidence and we don't even have the rationale for the situation? We're giving it too much space in our heads. If it doesn't affect you, it doesn't make you live, it doesn't make you continue to breathe, it doesn't bring you the success that you're aiming for, it doesn't help you achieve the goals you wanted to achieve, Why do we care about rationalizing something somebody else did? If it's not gonna affect me, I don't need to know it. That goes for work, right? But at work, I do kind of want to understand what they're doing if it relates to my work, because I need to understand it, right? But in my personal life, there's so many things that people do, I don't care about what they do. If it's not somebody that's close in my circle, if it's not going to put food on my table, if it's not going to help me achieve the goals I created for 2024 and the years beyond, why would I even worry about continuing to live in that space and think about it? When I'm around people who spend all of this time, it's just too much for me. Like, I'm like, So it's the same thing when people apply and they get a bunch of rejections and then they're like, they don't want to hire me because I'm not certified. How do you know? How do you know? How do you know? I always ask that and people get stumped. Well, because I'm not certified. Well, the job description says that they want somebody certified. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people apply for jobs and get them without having all those minimum qualifications. They don't have all the minimum qualifications. If you didn't ask that person, why did you reject me? Quit trying to make a reason why they didn't. Move on. What the Lord is doing for me when he rejects me is for any situation is that he's redirected me to the plan, the blessing that he has in store for me. And every time that's happened, every single time, with a job, with life, with buying whatever, with doing whatever, every single time I'm rejected, I get redirected. Every time the redirection just takes me into a place where I'm like, oh my God, this is for me. Please make sure to give things rational space in your mind, because too many times you're wasting time with it. Another gem she dropped was receiving constructive feedback, adjusting, then growing.
There's an innate confidence that you have to have in terms of my voice and my perspective adds to this conversation. And I have a ton of respect for your experience. However, can we have a conversation? It's like, yo, that was solid. Or on the occasion where it wasn't solid, you have the opportunity to receive constructive feedback, adjust, and grow. So
when we receive constructive feedback, sometimes we get offended, particularly us minority people. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and be clear. Us Black sisters, we get upset. Oh, she told me this, she told me that. Grow from it, learn from it, move on from it. They're telling us what's wrong so we can focus on what to fix. Stop focusing on what's wrong. It's already wrong. It's not working. Move on to the next thing. Another thing that she talked about was just keep on living. My grandmother used to love to say that phrase. And when I was younger, it did not make sense to me at all.
It's funny, y'all. I hear my mom and my aunts and my grandmothers more in the last year than I think I ever have. Just that one line, keep on living. The closer I get to both my dreams professionally and personally, I'm like, oh, this is what they're talking about. It's beautiful and I'm excited, but there is a level of energy and maintenance required so that these things are healthy that you can't skirt.
But keep on living just means you still have time to see things happen. You still have time to experience new things. You still have time to experience new places. You still have time to get a new job. You still have time to get that job title that you've been aiming for. Just keep on living. Thank the Lord that you have breath to keep living so that you can get to that goal. Let's not fall in a place where we're like, what's going on? What's wrong? The more I keep living, the more I keep working on this, the more I keep improving this, I can get to better and a better and a better and a better version of myself. Okay, the last gem that I picked up is wherever you are, be mindful of your credibility.
Because credibility is so fragile, easily broken, and it's hard to restore it. So I think wherever you are, be mindful of your credibility.
T-shirt last year at the Natural Hair Festival. It said, know your worth, then add text. Know your worth, y'all. Just know wherever you are, be mindful of your credibility, because we bring so much fire, we bring so much energy, and because somebody didn't see it, we don't realize it, we don't value it. Look at what you're doing, look at the results you're giving, look at the life you're living. If you're lucky enough to not be addicted to drugs, to not be in prison, to not be selling your body for money, to not be a bad citizen in society, or what people may think of as a bad citizen in society, then guess what? You got some worth. Even if you've hit some of those roadblocks and you learn from them and you clean yourself up, you got a lot of worth. Because now you got a testimony. Now you have a story to tell. You have so much in you. So this was just so profound to me. Y'all, I'm going to put the links to both interviews below. Well, the TV session and then the interview down in the description box. And then one last thing before I get off here, because I absolutely love my t-shirt and I showed my t-shirt when I went live. I hope you guys can see it. But a lot of people asked me where I got this t-shirt from. So I'll definitely put the link to the t-shirt down below as well, because child, I love this t-shirt because these are definitely my roots. So if these your roots, you can grab it. If these not your roots and you just want to be an ally, then grab it. I have the link down in the description box. If this is your first time watching a Heyyy HR video, then I'm so excited that you're here. I literally have worked in human resources for the last 12 years, loved it, started my career as an HR assistant, grew up to an HR director. Now I happily sit as a global human resources business partner. I have not only an MBA, but also a master's in human resources management. And I have the highest level SHRM certification, which is the SHRM SCP. And so I bring you nothing but knowledge about human resources, mainly from my experiences, because I got a lot of them, but definitely from my knowledge. If you have not subscribed already, then definitely subscribe. For those of you who are returning, I definitely always appreciate you guys returning. Do me a favor and hit the like button. Please do me a favor, hit the like button. At the end of the day, I cannot wait to see you on the next video.